Hey people, what's going on? It's actually Saturday night, and I've had a really wonderful day, and I just kind of feel like blabbing some more. No guarantee that I'll actually put this online because I'm, like I said, it's 8 in the evening. It's been a long day. I'm feeling real relaxed and mellow. Was just I'm going to try to remember everything I want to say. I had like three things. So the first thing is I was just now watching again the Chuck D um, four-part series about the history of hip hop. The first part, and I had meant to grab this because thankfully they were mentioned in the getting the history straight of American rap music, or hip hop. The Last Poets. I know I've shown this before. It's very important recording. My family, Stephanie, I think Stephanie bought it. My older sister Stephanie bought this when it came out. But um, interesting how the context and the relevance of almost everything said here, which is directed at everyone, including us, black people, still totally relevant. Really proud of the fact that my brother and my two sisters and I, in our junior high school for a talent show, I forget what we called ourselves, but we performed Last Poets. It was controversial. There was nobody else doing things like that, you know, um, in my school anyway. But that's exactly where we were, emerging black consciousness, and just trying to be aware and in the moment, and doing something that was about the times. So, just thought I'd share that, because I'm always showing records. There's another Last Poets album that I bought really not that long ago. The Last Poets at Last. I need to listen to this some more. The first album, and then This Is Madness, which I don't have a copy of, but would like to have. Haven't found one in a while. Haven't come across one in a while. Last time I came across one, it wasn't in very good shape for sale. But besides that, I had a recording session today with my friend Brian Day, who lives in San Francisco now. He runs the label two labels, Public Eyesore and Air. And I review his stuff along with those other labels like Discus and Moon June, etc. He dropped this on me. I haven't played it yet, but this is one of his most recent releases by musician Evan Lipson, who I've met. I forget what Evan. I think Evan is a multi-instrumentalist, possibly playing some kind of horn or on this. But I haven't played this yet. He just dropped this on me. But I've shown his stuff. But anyway, as I've said about him, he's an instrument maker as well as a curator of a museum out in San Francisco. Just got done traveling the world. Like I said, he looks like he's globetrotting. To me, he's still just my friend Brian. We were talking about it, and that he was saying, how he's hustling like everybody else, but doing what he really loves, which is working with sound and building things and sharing that. So we did couple hours and ended up with about 40 minutes of improvisation and sound exploration that I just got done mixing most of it and a little bit of editing, only a little bit, which I'm really happy to say. When I met Brian many, many years ago, it was through the connection that somehow he got wind that there was other people in Omaha like myself who were into avant-garde music and other stuff besides the mainstream. And so years ago when we first connected, that was the connection, was to get together and improvise. And we ended up with a group called Platform, actually. And we did perform in public a few times. I have some recordings. So that was really good today. He needed a ride to his hotel. He was prepared to get a lift. But I said, well, should I just give you a ride? And then it also gave me an excuse to stop into one of the record stores because he's staying at the Hyatt down in the market. And I've been staying out of the record stores on purpose because just like anybody else, pinching pennies, because going to the grocery store is no fun these days, among other bills that keep going up. So sure enough, I went to Grapefruit. I avoided Homer's. I hadn't been to Grapefruit in a while. I'd been to Homer's. And so, I know that Grapefruit's going to have some stuff for me, and they did. I was still conservative because I can't be foolish. So, I was talking about, we were listening to Bud Powell the other day, and I was saying I don't have any on vinyl, so I grabbed this 2022, what do they call it? It's a series, vinyl something, really nice, pressing, really high quality, and I haven't even played side 2 yet, but he's playing with Sam Jones on bass, Philly Joe Jones on drums, total taste. Bud Powell, I mean, he had those mental health problems, but he was, the way that the music flowed out of him, his playing. The other day, it was like hearing Bud Powell again for the first time when Cubby suggested we put some on, and we just called it up on the internet. So I grabbed that today. While I was at the store at the Grapefruit, they had 2 in the used section that were still sealed. So I was really happy to get on vinyl for my Anthony Phillips Genesis collection. This is Anthony Phillips, Invisible Men. This is 1983 is when this album came out. But this was a still sealed copy, in the used section. That was great, It's on the commercial side, but it always has enough of what he's about that it's not a complete throwaway. There's all these, to my ears, all these concessions that I hear being made as these albums went on with Anthony Phillips, for example, because I followed him, in particular through the Private Parts and Pieces series. But with stuff like this, it's where the label is trying to get a hit out of him, trying to get something that will they can get on the radio and etc. Which again, from a business standpoint, that makes sense. So that's what this album was about. But it was still sealed, so I grabbed that. This one was also still sealed, and I didn't have it. Neither this version or the original version on CD, which has a different title and different lineup, but basically the same songs. On a Blue Wing, Bill Nelson, early 80s, and I love this stuff. And in particular, what I like about this period of him, he was prolific, but he's kind of like Bowie. Excuse me. Like I said, it's the evening. Been smoking a little bit. Like Bowie, he takes in his surroundings and his inspirations and spits them back out pretty nicely. And so there's a lot of Yellow Magic Orchestra, Yukihiro Takahashi flavor in his rhythm arrangements, in particular on these, and the way he's approaching the bass on here. And I haven't looked at the. Let me stop here because I was noting the bass sound. It wasn't exactly McCarn, but was kind of like that. And I was thinking, well, that's probably Bill Nelson. No, it's Ian Denby on bass. And a nice job with Dick Morrissey on sax. Cool. Preston Heyman on percussion, and Andy Davis on additional keyboards. Good group. Excuse me, good album. Like I said, Bill Nelson, he's released over 100 albums. I'm certain of that. Can't even try to collect them all. This next one I was very happy to grab because when I was a kid, I had an original U.S. version of it, got it as a cutout, and I liked it, but only really liked one song, which was in an Egyptian tomb. So I let it go somehow. I don't even know how, if I sold it or what. It's worth money now. Mighty Baby. Love the graphics on this. When I was able to score this as a cutout, and I remember I got it because it was one where they actually drilled the hole through the cover and the label, the center. They would hit it so they know they're missing the grooves. Mostly, there was some where they messed up and punched a hole through the record, the playable record. But this was reissued in 2021. This is a really nice, not colored vinyl, but a very nice plate and graphic. Took me right back to when I owned it. In an Egyptian tomb is the standout proggish track. It's really unique. The rest of the album is pretty good. It jams along pretty good. When I was listening to it today, I was like, yeah, well, that's why it was so easy for me to kind of, it didn't connect like some things did. Really glad to get this back today, though, to get a copy. Isn't that cool? Love those graphics. Two more. One new reissue and one more used. Anytime I can get anything on the Freedom label, I grab it. And of course, I love Ornette Coleman. Haven't played this yet, but I just started to play it. It's like, oh my goodness, is there an orchestra on here? Sounds and Forms for Wind Quintet on side one, and the Virtuoso Ensemble with his trio. Oh my goodness. What did I get here? Excellent. It's a UK import, Polydor Freedom. Arista Records picked up this label in the 70s and put out a bunch of excellent albums on Arista Freedom. Everyone from Cecil Taylor to Anthony Braxton, Julius Hemphill, you name it. Got a bunch of those. Not a bunch, but I've got a few. But to find the Freedom, this appears to me to be closer to the original Freedom, or is this the original Freedom label? Somebody maybe knows. I've only got a couple import Freedoms, but this was like, yeah, I was glad to grab that. And this one was the costly new reissue that I was hoping they'd get it in there and that I'd be able to get it. Been after this album for years. Parson Sound. I believe this is out of Sweden. Haven't read all the information on the inside. I believe this is a connection to or the same people from Trad Grass Oxtenar. I'm seeing the name in here. Okay, so yeah, the drummer is on here. And okay, I only got through one side of this. It's a three record set, and this is incredible. No, I'd heard it before, but I've never owned it. So as I listen to this, it's like, yeah, no wonder this is, one of those records that people, kind of go gaga about. But rightfully so, because of the music and what it captures and how early this is in the history of rock music, and also rock music in Sweden, no less. This is early 70s, and this is just a fry. This is killer. Parson Sound. Been after this for a while, and for the years would hope to luck into finding an original. Never happened. So I thought I'd get on here and share that stuff with you. I've had a great day, folks. Thank you, man. I just love this connection and good people. Love having good people in my life. So I heard from Gary Green from Gentle Giant today. So we're going to do a second conversation on Tuesday. It just fucking blows me away. Hey, what's going on, Dereck? And sends me pictures of their cat that's growing, who's named Mauricio Higgins, after the guy from Rockin' Pins who hooked me up to Gentle Giant in the first place, and me, my last name Higgins. It's just very touching. So that's on schedule to happen on Tuesday. New interview video, conversation really, because it feels like a friend. I haven't even met him, but I just love it, folks. I love it. And yeah, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to say exactly what I feel. It's just very, very odd that, we're in an odd world. So I just keep on keeping on, because I know there is value to a lot of what I try to share. And it's not about me, my ego. It's about this information. Everyone has a certain amount of information that we can share, just kind of like facts or perspectives, on things that may be thought-provoking or maybe helpful. I hear it really all the time. You can see it in the comments here, as well as what you don't see when I get on the other social media. That, yeah, I'm not just up here yippee yapping about nothing, even though I do sometimes. So yeah, I feel blessed. I really do, and really feel blessed to be able to just share a little bit of time with all of you all. It's like I'm looking at the screen, looking at the camera image of myself, and yet I'm totally talking to you, everyone, whoever is watching this, and sending you my love. It's not dependent upon others' perceptions how I do my thing. You perceive as you please, or however your filter makes you perceive. But that's not what I am. I am what I am, and so I just keep on being that. All right, I'm gonna upload. This was a pleasant little. I'm glad I took a moment to just connect. All right, talk to you, and you talk to me.